All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of The Urban Gardener. I want to thank you all so much for joining with me here today. If you haven't already, please get down below, hit that subscribe button, follow along with more garden adventures as we continue growing here on The Urban Gardener. In fact, hit that bell notification to be notified of upcoming episodes. Now today is a day we've been waiting for a couple of months now, as our pepper starts, since they've been started, have been indoors under artificial light and getting ready to be planted out now that it's after our first frost date here in the southern Oregon area, where we'll be planting these out. And the sun is out in full force over the last couple of days, and they've been getting used to it and doing pretty well. I'll be talking about here in just a few moments about the whole hardening off process that these peppers go through in order to come out into our gardens at this time of year. But first, we're going to plant out our other favorite crop to grow here in the urban gardens, and of course that's tomatoes. Tomatoes, just like peppers, there are many, many great varieties, and we've chosen some really great ones to plant out in our gardens. So many good looking starts to choose from. And that's pretty much what I do too, is I grow several more starts than what I'm going to actually need, so that I can choose the best starts out of the bunch. Get my best, strongest plants. We've got so many to choose from too. Like I said, I'm going to share this with you all again. This is what we did with our trays. We've got a 72 cell tray. We planted out all of our different varieties of seeds. And we only gave them a number. Just got a list of the varieties that we've got. Put a number next to them. Seed them out. Put a number into the cell for the variety that's growing there. But yeah, that's a really great system. I'm really glad I learned that one this year. But yeah, let's pick out some starts. So alright, here we are, tomato row. This is where we're going to plant out most of our different varieties of tomatoes, right along the back fence line here in our 5-gallon buckets. We do have some other places around the gardens that we're going to plant out some of our varieties of tomatoes too, but primarily this is where most all of the different varieties go. So alright, let's get started with our first bucket for our tomatoes. What we're going to be doing, it's just a simple process here. We're going to bury our tomatoes in nice and deep. What I want to do first though is I'm going to take these first couple of inches here before I put in my tomato start. We're going to put in a nice little handful of organic dry fertilizer, any organic dry fertilizer you like, and I'm just going to kind of scratch that into that first couple of inches there, and then I'm going to put in a nice deep hole for our start. Another thing too is, you can see here in the bucket, I'm also starting from about a third of the way down as well too. So that's going to help us bury this tomato nice and deep. Okay. So we've got our start, and we're going to take off our lower leaves off of this. So just get those leaves, just take them right off the plant. So we got the top just right, and we're going to bury it right up to that top too. So alright, we've got it buried up pretty deep there. I also do have some sifted compost. What I'm going to do is add a little bit of that sifted compost right around to the top there. Then handful of that organic fertilizer. Scratch that in there. There we go. And that's just that simple. We've got our plant buried in nice and deep, and then when it grows up out of the container just a little bit, and a few inches there, I'll do something similar where I'll just take those bottom leaves off of it, and then I'm going to bury it all the way up to the top of this bucket and probably add just a little bit more fertilizer, as that will probably be about a month from now, so it'll be a good time to give it another little boost of nutrients. And then what we'll do is we're going to keep those bottom leaves off of the tomato all the way up to where it starts to produce fruit and flowers, or flowers and fruit anyways. And then at that point, that's where we'll leave it to go. But that'll leave us a lot of space underneath of the plant where air can flow and keep a lot of those diseases and funguses and things like that off of our plants so that they can be nice and healthy. We put on our cages, and I did staple them up onto the fences there in order to hold those cages in place nice and tight. So real quick, let's just go over what we planted in here. We've got number one, we've got our Arkansas Traveler. So we've got an Arkansas Traveler tomato variety. Number two here is our Super Steak. This is a nice beef steak tomato here, one of my favorite varieties. Number three is our Oregon Spring. And we're going to go through just a little bit of shock there, just case in point here with the Oregon Spring. But they'll bounce back, be just fine here in a few days. Number four, we've got our Union Yellow, nice big yellow variety. And then number five, a kind I grew last year called Orange Kentucky. This was a really good tomato. Really excited about growing it again this year. And number six here is a variety called Mule Team. I got this from Ray Browning at Praxis 55712. And number seven is a variety called Jersey Giant, another one of our state tomatoes. This one here is actually a paste tomato, going good for some sauces. Number 8 variety called White Tomaso. It's a white tomato. This one I'm really excited about seeing how these turn out. I've never had a white tomato before. Got this variety from Baker Creek Heirloom Seed Company. Number 9, a variety that we grow every year called San Marzano. It's another paste sauce tomato. This one I really like, so I'm growing it again this year to be sure that I've got a good variety of paste tomato. So number 10, last in line here in our tomato row, another one we got from Baker Creek Heirloom Seed Company. This is a variety called Dad's Sunset. I just really love the picture on the package of this one. A beautiful red-orange tomato. Really looking forward to how this one turns out. So the last variety we're going to plant out here are these small ones here on the end. Got this variety from Baker Creek Heirloom Seed Company, and when I saw it I was interested so much I had to get them and grow them out this year. They're a miniature plant, a dwarf plant that grows a cherry tomato, an orange cherry tomato at that. They're so nice and small in size. All we're going to grow them in are these 1-gallon containers. So let's get those all potted up. Little tomato plants are nice, strong looking starts. So I'm really excited about seeing how well these plants do, especially over the next couple of months growing in these small pots. But we should have plenty of nice orange cherry tomatoes coming.